My name is William Stevenson. I'm presenting this 10 to 15 minute lesson for my interview into the Washington County School District. I'll be teaching a lesson on the hero's journey. I have a class of two students. All right, so let's get started. All right, guys, so today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing a lesson continuing from what we did yesterday. We've been talking about the hero's journey, getting ready to start our creative writing unit. And what we're going to do today is we're going to start creating your guys' characters. So the characters that you guys want to be part of your story is what we're going to start and talk about today. So yesterday we did a brief overview. We started talking about fatal flaws. Can anybody remember what some of the examples of fatal flaws were in heroes? What do you think, Paul?
Achilles heel.
Achilles. So Achilles was the Greek, right? Was he Greek or Roman? He was Greek, right? He was Greek, and his mom wanted to be protected, to be immortal, so she took him and dipped him in ichor, pulled him out, but all she had to hold on to it was the river Styx, not ichor. Dipped him into the river Styx and held on to his ankle so she wouldn't get poisoned and die. So the only point that wasn't invincible was his ankle, so it was his heel. And how did that affect him later in his life?
He got shot by an arrow in the ankle in the War of Troy.
In the Battle of Troy, he got shot in the ankle. Of all places, he gets shot in the ankle with an arrow. Running around, suit of armor, shot in the ankle, dies, right? His one point of weakness, his fatal flaw. We also talked a little bit about Percy Jackson, in how Percy Jackson's trait, his fatal flaw, is that he cares too much about his friends. He'll sacrifice himself every time to take care of his friends. Doesn't matter which one, he loves them all. And that's his fatal flaw. He puts himself in harm's way just to save them. So we're going to develop our characters today that we're creating. Now we have some technical difficulties. So I have an audio file from the brand new TV show Gallivant. It's about, the setting is 1500s in England. It's kind of around King Arthur kind of time, knights and chivalry, ladies in distress. And our main character is Gallivant. And what's fun about this TV show is that they sing songs. And the very first song they sing is literally called Hero's Journey. So we're going to watch the clip. It's really short. It's about a minute and a half. We're going to watch the short clip. And as you watch, I want you to listen for Gallivant's fatal flaw. Pay really close attention to the background singers or his companions. You can't see them because we only have an audio file. But pay close attention, and we will figure out what Gallivant's fatal flaw is. So far, did you notice anything? What did it say about his character?
He's a slob.
He's a slob. What did it say? What did he say about his own face?
He himself thinks he's hot.
He thinks he's hot. It says a face most girls dream about, right? So he's prideful. So we have pride, and he's a slob. Okay, so far. So he's going to save a princess, right? But what's the deal with the princess?
She doesn't actually love him.
She doesn't love him. Is she still single?
No.
She's married. And so he has this idea that he needs to save her, but according to all the companions, she's happily married. She doesn't need Gallivant. We got the message. So we learned that he's conceited, right? He's conceited and prideful. He's beautiful. Beautiful face. But overall, based on everything we heard, what do we think Gallivant's fatal flaw is? What do you think?
I think that he trusts people too much.
So he trusts people too much. Why would you say that he trusts people too much? Do you want to help him out, Paul?
Sure. I think he trusts people too much because the people that are traveling with him are actually working against him, but he thinks they're helping him.
Exactly. So Gallivant is traveling with these companions. It's a girl and a guy. I mean, we can't see that, but we can hear a girl's voice and another guy singing, right? So the girl says, if he finds out I'm working for the king, and he's like, what did you say? Right?
Yeah.
So, but he trusts all these people anyway. She's like, don't worry about it, I didn't say anything. So he's too trusting. So his fatal flaw, so far that we can see, is that he's too trusting. So, and we know that what's going to happen if you trust the wrong kind of people. This happens in your guys' lives every day, right? Teen drama. My best friend, and now he went on a date with my ex-girlfriend. This is so terrible, right? We see this in teenage drama all the time. Teenage movies. He loves her, she loves somebody else, right? The same kind of thing. So he's gonna get hurt. It's gonna come back to bite him. So what we're gonna work through today is we're gonna create our characters, and we have a hero's journey graphic organizer for you guys to use. Now, since we did some brainstorming before, kind of on what we want to write about, we discussed yesterday Act 1. So the hero's journey is always a 3-act system. It comes in 3 acts. There's the initial introduction, where you learn about the hero, and then he gets called to action. He has to go and do some fighting, right? He goes on this adventure, and then there's resolution in Act 3. So he has to make his way home in the end. But what we're going to focus on today is just Act 1. Mostly just the first sliver. It's this light blue one, or the darkest blue on the sheet. This is where we get an introduction to the protagonist, or your character. You get introduced to him. You figure out some of his backstory, some of what he's going to do throughout the story. So, I have some elements here on the sheet itself. We have character traits with 6 boxes next to it. We have character weaknesses and character flaws. Now, there's a lot of boxes for flaws. How many character flaws does a hero need?
1.
Usually only has 1, right? 1 character flaw. So, what I want you guys to do is you take the planning that you've done yesterday in class, and I want you to start filling out this graphic organizer. I'll give you 2 minutes. I want you guys to fill out how many, so some of the main character traits, some of their weaknesses. Let's use an example. So we're talking about Percy Jackson, right? So we're going to stay on that same thread. We all know the story of Percy Jackson. What are some of his strengths?
Can control water.
He controls water, right? Son of Poseidon, he can control water. Heal himself with water. So there's 2. Control water, heals himself. Sticking with his water strengths, what can he do underwater? He can breathe. So these are some pretty strong strengths. Now, we know that his fatal flaw is he cares too much about his friends, sacrifice himself. But he also has weaknesses. What's one of his weaknesses? Very first person who gets in danger from the book and the movie.
His mom.
His mom. He loves his mom so much. And she wants to protect him. She's with the jerk Gabe, right? The big, mean, stinky guy. But she was smart, and that's why she was with that stinky Gabe guy to protect Percy. But he loves his mom. Kind of flows right into his fatal flaw. So, take your ideas that you've planned out so far for your characters. Actually, let's just take 1 minute, and I want you guys to start filling out the graphic organizer. Start with their strengths, and then if you know their fatal flaw already, put that in there as well. This way we can start to develop our characters. All right, go ahead. Thanks for being on task, guys. All right, so let's stop right there. So from what you guys have done planning yesterday and kind of with the stuff we've talked about today, would either of you guys like to share some of your character traits that you came up with? Weaknesses, strengths, flaws, whatever you want to share. What do you got? What do you think, Spencer?
Some of my traits: this person's good at wrestling, has amazing, perfect curly hair, has immense strength, can fly, and can dance really good.
Dance really good. Ooh, so is this a high school student kind of age guy? Or is he like college wrestler guy?
He dances so that the bad guys don't think he can beat him up.
Oh,
Yeah.
deception. I
Yeah.
like it. Deception. I like it. All right, Paul. Let's hear some of yours. What do you got?
He has lots of gadgets and fighting. He doesn't panic.
Okay, so he uses technology, and I like the not panicking. There, lots and lots of heroes have that panic reflex, the fight or flight, right? All right. So for today, that's where we're going to stop today. For your homework, you guys are going to further develop your characters. So it's just a series of questions, random questions. You don't have to answer them all, but you need to get at least half, okay? So these are basic questions like what color is their hair, eye color, where do they come from, family, do they like their family, do they not like their family? Just kind of that background information that helps you have a rounded character. That way, when you start putting it into paper, into the work, those characteristics that you plan out will then feed into your story. If you know how he acts, if he goes to church, he's going to have a certain kind of reaction when it comes to religious sort of situations. If he doesn't go to church, maybe he won't, right? Maybe it won't affect his character. Maybe, let's see, how old? This is a really important one, how old? I like that question, that's why it's number one. If this guy is 90 years old, he's probably not going to be bounding over tall buildings like Superman, right? Yeah. But if he's 18, 19, young 20s, Superman style, then you can see that character and you can feel that that's real. Okay, so I'm going to hand these to you guys. You already have your exit tickets. So on the exit ticket, your question's written on there. I want you to fill out the exit ticket and then you can leave.